Hello, my crafty friends. It's Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations, and today is day 24 of the Countdown to Christmas card series. I cannot believe we have one more project after this. This has been a lot of fun. The theme for today was snowflake or snowman, and so I went with the Hero Arts Peekaboo die that I recently purchased. I haven't used it yet, so I'm going to use my Honeybee Bitty Buzz cutter to cut out these pieces because they were all small enough to fit in here. So you have your main snowman base and then all of the little features. So the carrot nose, the hat, and I am going to do the hat out of black cardstock, and then I'm going to put it through a second time with some green pattern paper so that I can get the band to be a different pattern. I wanted it to, have a little something. So I used this random scrap from my stash. And then I will cut out the holly leaves. The holly leaves and berry are all one die, so I cut them out of green and then I cut them out of red so that I could have the berries. I will add them on top of the green base. And the carrot nose, just some scraps. This is a great scrap buster if you have a bunch of scraps in your stash. You could definitely use these because it doesn't take very big pieces to get this done. I thought that this cut the parts out because I was going to do the die piece again or put black cardstock behind the eyes, but ends up that they just kind of impress into the die. They didn't cut them out completely, so I am going to end up using markers. I use the Sharpies just to color this in. So you're going to watch me take this out and try to pop out those sections and realize that, nope, that is not how this die works. So I switch gears, try it one more time, just to make sure those little pieces, because the scarf has these little dots on it as well, that I thought might pop out, but those do not either. So I'm just going to take some liquid glue and adhere the nose. I do put it on a little bit crooked. They do have, like I said, embossed lines so you can see where all of the features go. So now I'm just trimming the berries away, or I'm trimming away actually the leaves, so that I'm left with the berries so that I can glue those down to the leaves. And while you watch me put this together, I'm then going to color with my Sharpies. So while I'm doing that, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about this series. So I have joined Michelle from Scrap Secrets. She does a holiday card series every year. She thinks she's done it for about this, probably her 5th or 6th year that she's done this. So I have joined her for the entire series this year. Last year I did one video with her, and this year she asked me, we were talking together about finding motivation to post to our channels, and she said, well, why don't you join me for the Christmas card series that I do? So I absolutely said I would love to do that. So it is 2 projects a week. The Friday, the 29th, will be the 22nd, excuse me, will be our final project. That will be day 25. I can't believe that we're already here. We are going to leave comments open on all videos until the 29th, and then we will select the winners, and those will be announced the following Friday, and I'm not sure off the top of my head what that date is. I know it's January something. So if Michelle gets to 750 between now and Friday's video, she will add an extra giveaway. So I definitely encourage you to head over to her channel, which I will have linked down in the description box below. And if you feel so inclined to subscribe to her channel, I know she would greatly appreciate it. So I'm just using some Sharpies right now. I did paint. I colored the mittens in green, and now I'm doing the scarf in red, and I'm not worrying about those little dots because I am going to use my pops of color over the top of those. So I'm just coloring right straight over the entire piece of the scarf. For the mittens, once I adhered them down, as you can see, the pattern paper that I used for the hat and the holly leaves, and that I'll use for the background of my card, is a different kind of green, and I didn't really like how they went together, so I will end up changing my mind and going over the mittens again in black, so that they kind of are more cohesive with the entire color scheme that I went with. So these are really cute dies. They have a few of them, these Peekaboo dies. I know Michelle got a couple of them. I think she got all but one of them. I only got the snowman, but I think there's an elf, might be a reindeer, and I can't remember what the 4th one is, but they're really, really super cute. So as you can see, I picked out a pattern paper, or excuse me, colored cardstock that was the same color that I used for the holly leaves as a background. And then I've trimmed this piece of wood paneled paper, which is just from my stash. This pattern paper has a very subtle wood grain, and I thought that would be cute to look like the snowman's peeking around a door. So I'm just positioning it to see how that's going to look, and I'm going to adhere it down using some liquid glue, and then I will attach my hat using the same. And that's when I realized I don't really like the look of the green mittens next to the other colors of green. So I'm going to very carefully, because this is already adhered to my card, go with the Sharpies and recolor those black. And I did everything with the liquid glue to put them down, but you could definitely use some foam squares to adhere your hat or your snowman if you wanted to give it a little bit more dimension. But look how incredibly cute that is. I am going to use a sentiment from a different Hero Arts stamp set, and I'm just auditioning which one I think I might want to go with, and I went with Season's Greetings. So I'm going to put that in my Misty and stamp that using the VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink. And I'm pretty sure I stamped it and got it the first try. I don't think I even needed to stamp it twice. I do have the Waffle Flower grip mat in my Misty that's helping hold that cardstock down. So there is my sentiment. And now I'm just going to recolor the mittens before I add the pops of color, because once I add that on, you know full well I'd stick my hand in it, because anything that's a wet medium, I'm gonna mess it up. So I wanted that to be the last thing that I did. But I think I even put the pops of color on before I adhered it to my card base, which was, don't do as I do. Put it on your card base first and then add your embellishments that need time to dry. But I did manage to not make a mess with this. So I will take a scrap piece of paper and put it underneath the mitten, because I don't have it quite adhered all the way down. So I'm just sliding that underneath there so that I can scribble and get all the edges of that mitten, so you don't see any more of that green. So you can't tell that they, excuse me, were green at one moment in their lives. And so those mittens are now all colored in. And I am going to take my pops of color, and there are definitely embossed lines where all of the dots are. So I am just using these to give a little something, a little shine to this area and give it a little something different. I could have used my white Jelly Roll pen and colored them in, or a different color of Sharpie marker. You could use any coloring medium that you want to, fill that in. So then I'm just going to smack this on my table a little bit so that I don't have the points on the pops of color. It just flattens them out a little bit. And then there's a couple that weren't quite as full as I wanted them to be, so I'm going to add a little bit more. And then give that a tap. And then carefully adhere it to my card base using some liquid glue, and trying not to put my fingers all in where the wet stuff is. But that's what it's going to look like. And I hope that you enjoyed today's project. And as always, I hope that you have a great day.